It's 2 days after Christmas. My kids are out eating oranges and eggnog and toast for breakfast. But I just had to sit down because I was thinking about some things that I wanted to share with you. Did you know that Americans spend over $1 trillion annually on Christmas? That's a crazy amount of money. That is so much money. That's like over $1,000 per person. We have 8 kids, and there's no way we spend that much per person. We probably don't even spend that much for a whole family one Christmas, and we have a wonderful time. But I was thinking about it, and I just wanted to talk about the most radical gift you could give your family for Christmas and yourself. The life-changing gift, a gift that will just never cease to astonish you with how happy it makes you and will never get old. And that is what happens when you become your family's cycle breaker. As a mom, you have the incredible power to change things that happened in the past for the future. When my husband and I started doing this work to break some family cycles that were very difficult, our family was not a bad family. We were happy. We loved each other. Our kids loved us. We had many good things going. But we also had explosiveness at home. We also had walking on eggshells. We also had a feeling of covert managing, trying to make sure that this person's okay and that person's okay. And sometimes, sadly enough, a sense of relief when we weren't together, a sense of freedom when we didn't have to be with each other. Since doing this work, the hardest work you'll ever do, since giving that gift, we don't just love each other, but we really are happy. We are at peace. We can be honest with each other. And our children can too. They're not afraid to admit they've made a mistake or done something wrong. Those things are worth working for. They're worth fighting for. I'm Morgiana Anderson. I'm mom to 8 kids, and I'm passionate about helping moms who care deeply about their children's mental and emotional happiness, health, and freedom, not just when they're little, but throughout their lives, because parenting is the ultimate long game. And if that's you and you care about your own happiness and health and freedom at the same time, you're in the right place. So like and subscribe and stick around for a while. When my husband and I first stepped into this work of breaking family cycles, I was astonished at how incredibly hard it was. It felt so unnatural in so many ways, and emotionally and mentally draining. It seemed like the foundation of our unconscious understanding of the way things work and the way things should be was being undone. And living with the mental and emotional impact was like walking with vertigo. You know, if you've ever felt that, where you're standing upright, but your body just keeps acting like the world is tilting. It took great humility to trust the feedback that contradicted our natural impulses under the stress of normal parenting, but especially if any added stress came along. Holidays, sickness, being too tired, any little thing made any forward progress seem like we slipped 2 steps back again. And the tricky thing is, when you start this work, people will try to pull you back into the familiar cycles. People will try to keep those dynamics stable. There are spouses who consciously or unconsciously sabotage those very efforts. There are grandparents who criticize and belittle new and different ways of parenting. There are siblings who tease and poke the very spots they know are tender and triangulate. And there are very own selves who want things to be normal. It seems like a losing battle sometimes. Probably the most painful, the unknowing aggravation of our children, who were just being kids and unconsciously set off the very traps that were set in our psyches during our own childhood. And there's no one cycle, no one set denominator that everyone reverts to that we can point to. Each family has their own dragons. Being aware enough of these hurtful patterns and irrational reactions that we've grown up with, and catching them before they're triggered onto our children, can seem almost impossible. If you've ever caught yourself screaming over a glass of spilled milk, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you're the villain. There's so many factors at play in being a mother: exhaustion, mental and emotional fatigue. But the big thing is, what's inside of you is what will come out during those hard times. Our brains try to protect us by telling us stories about why our reaction is right and important, but mostly they're just keeping us stuck. It takes incredible courage and stamina to keep standing up and walking forward in the face of what feels like regular failure. When Anya began to do the work of being a cycle breaker in her family, she was working together with her husband, and she found herself confused, outraged, completely taken off guard when it would seem that just as they were making forward progress, her husband would sabotage her efforts. He would do something that they'd talked about, something he'd acknowledged, something that was a known pattern, to reduce her to being this outraged, emotional, reactive woman. It wasn't until she realized that he was doing it on purpose that she began to make a difference. He wasn't doing it consciously. He didn't want to do it. But there was something about making her fit that familiar role that made life make sense for him, that filled out the framework of what he was used to. Now, she couldn't make him stop doing that. Every time they talked about it, he was at a point, not everyone's there yet, but he was at a point where he would acknowledge it. He didn't know why he was doing it. She couldn't make him stop. But she could break the cycle herself. She could stop filling that role. He could do those things, and she could choose a different answer, not a doormat answer, not an over-the-top reactive answer, but a different reaction to change that cycle, to say, you do whatever you're going to do, but I don't have to play that part anymore. And when she began to do that is when the things really began to shift at their house. And it was the start of a whole new experience in their family, in their relationship. When you do stand up, when you do keep walking, even though it seems like the vertigo slams you to the ground again and again, you give the ultimate gift to your children. You give them the freedom to deal with their own lives, their own challenges, the struggles life hands all of us, without the generations of baggage weighing them down before they even get to the starting line. You give them the peace of knowing that they don't have to caretake you, their mama, so they can freely care about you. You give them the peace of honest growth, as rocky and painful and difficult as that may be for you. They can receive your love because it isn't all tied up with the puppet strings of family history. And you can finally be yourself, the person you want to be, the person you choose to be, not the version of you that got all twisted and contorted to fit family roles before you even knew what it was all about. There is an incredible peace and freedom in realizing that those things aren't you. You are more. You can be whoever you want to be. You can't go back and change the things that made you. Those wounds can't be undone. But in changing the script with your own family and your own children, you can heal in a way that no amount of talk therapy, no amount of thinking about it will ever do. Relational pain, relational trauma is healed in relationship. Creating a new future with concrete changes day by day actually does heal the past. You can heal you while you break the cycle for your children. You know what your stuff is. And if you don't, ask someone in your family. If they feel safe enough, I can guarantee you they know and they'll tell you. But if you ask yourself deep down and really think about it, you probably know also. Be the hero. Deal with your baggage. Fight your dragons so your children don't have to. Yeah. You got that. If you check out my video on becoming the mother you've always wanted to be, and give the most radical gift of all. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of them. If this hits home, grab my free masterclass that's pinned below and start doing the work. Your family will never be the same, and that's a good thing.